And now, to close out our trilogy of GBA multi-carts for the Mega Man franchise, we have the Mega Man Zero Collection, a nice-looking repro in a red cartridge that offers all 4 of the Mega Man Zero games. We had a blue cart with all the classic Mega Man Game Boy games, as well as both Mega Man Extremes, a green cartridge with every GBA native EXE game, and now we have all the Zero games, minus the 2 ZX entries. Unlike the other 2, however, this one was available for purchase with a custom-made case. Let's take a quick look at it. Well, the grammar and punctuation already doesn't fill me with confidence. Mega Man Zero, our hero, awakens after 100 years of sleep to a world where innocent Reploids, robots, are unjustly attacked by an organization called Neo Arcadia. That's not an organization, that's a city. This new government has turned the world into a place where it is extremely hard for Reploids to live and where they are under constant persecution. As Mega Man Zero, it is up to you to save the world in this collection of all 4 Mega Man Zero games. The punctuation is so poorly done on this that it makes the entire thing look like 1 or 2 very long run-on sentences. Only a single comma is found, there towards the bottom, but the periods are there, they're just so tiny you need a magnifying glass to see them, and a few of them aren't spaced properly. As for the rest of the back cover though, this actually looks pretty nice. It has indicators for what consoles the game will work on, and some screenshots of the included games, as well as the official Nintendo seal of approval. That's just hilarious, especially if you know Nintendo's stance on piracy. Looking at the front though, it doesn't look too bad actually. It's using art from Mega Man Zero 2, and the case itself is a typical DS game case with the GBA game holder on the top. Just for comparison's sake, let's look at the case for the real Mega Man Zero collection, the one released for Nintendo DS. The biggest thing that bothers me is that on the official cover, there's a registered copyright symbol above the logo, but on the GBA version, it has the trademark symbol. I don't know what the functional difference is between these two, but I just find it kind of strange in this case. Since the logo already existed, why didn't you just perfectly copy it? It's a bootleg game, so I highly doubt anyone would have complained about which copyright symbol you used. But if I'm wrong, someone let me know if it actually matters here. Looking at the spine of both cases, I think I actually prefer the bootleg. It's got a little sprite of Zero pointing his buster. That's pretty cool. Now onto the contents of the cartridge itself. And I don't really have too much to say on this one. So far, I'm not having any trouble saving with it, unlike the Mega Mania cartridge. It seems to have roughly the same quality as the Battle Network Collection multi-cart, everything except the game select screen. While the Battle Network Collection had a generic starry background, scrolling text, and a poor man's rendition of the main Battle Network theme, the Zero GBA Collection has no music and the background is just a static image, with the only moving object being the color-changing text to select the game. Although, if you press the B button, it looks like the screen gets all glitchy. I'm not sure why it does this. As far as I've tested though, all 4 games work perfectly fine and save well. I will note 2 discrepancies, however. From what I remember, the item description states that it's using the Japanese version translated into English. I don't think that this is true. The Japanese version of Mega Man Zero 3 featured blood whenever you destroyed an enemy with a bladed weapon. This game does not. Additionally, while the Mega Man Zero collection on DS, as well as the more recent Legacy collection, censored several lines of dialogue from Mega Man Zero 2, in which they removed every instance of the word die and kill, the multi-cart retains the original GBA version script with the uncensored dialogue. In case you were wondering, this multi-cart can connect to and trade chips with Battle Network 4, both the original cartridge and the Battle Network Collection multi-cart. But is there any real reason to opt for this GBA bootleg versus either the original DS version or the Zero ZX Legacy collection? Well, despite the GBA Repro and the original DS collection being close in price, I can think of 2 reasons. The first one is if you only have access to GBA-capable devices and don't want to emulate, which basically means that you can't play a DS game. The second is that this multi-cart shares the same soft reset quirk that the Battle Network multi-cart does, in that, at least for a few seconds, the cartridge remembers what game was selected last. In Mega Man ZX, if you plug in a copy of Mega Man Zero 3 or 4 into slot 2 on a DS or DS Lite, you can battle against bosses from those games. So, if you don't have access to those cartridges, you can use this multi-cart to achieve the same effect. These bonuses were built into the Legacy collection, however. But aside from that, there's not really much going for this repro. I got mine on eBay, but the listing has been taken down, and it's up on other websites. It's a fun little novelty, but it really does just feel like a bare-bones version of the other 2 existing Zero collections. Not bad, but it's just the bare basics. Although, if you really wanted to see Zero 2's uncensored dialogue and all 4 games in one spot, then this is the collection for you.